Do you think he's out riding bikes, jogging, swimming, going for hikes and dancing and so on? I don't think so. He does this. Coach Greg, and in today's video, is it actually worth it? And so I'm watching this guy. I thought it was Grizzly. You know Grizzly? He's that big, huge guy, lifts crazy weights. He's doing all kinds of crazy things. You know what I'm talking about. And so I literally am thinking, this is Grizzly. But lo and behold, it's not. I'm watching him strict press 525 pounds over his head, and I'm thinking, how is this even possible? Then I read the caption, 100% natural. And I'm not making this shit up. It literally says drug-free. And so as I go through his channel, he's doing all kinds of crazy stunts. 505 pound strict press over his head with ease. It looks very smooth. Behind the neck press, 455 pounds. He's doing tricep extensions with 3 plates over his head. And so he began his journey 11 years ago as a teenager. And even as a teenager, you could see this guy had amazing genetics. He had a lot of muscle, was very lean, looked incredible. But more recently, he showed his 5-year transformation. That's right, in the last 5 years, it states he put on 180 pounds. And I'm not making this shit up. I'm not lying to you. And I watched his before photo and his after photo, and I thought, is it actually worth it? Let's show how he looked when he started. 5 years ago, this was his physique. 210 pounds, chiseled six-pack. Guy looked absolutely incredible. He looked like he had achieved his after photo. He had it made. Remember, he's claiming he's 100% natural, which I don't believe for 1 second. I don't believe he was natural in the before photo. But over the last 5 years, his goal is to be the strongest strict presser in the world. And so what did he do? He increased his body weight from 210 to 380 pounds. Now, quick math lesson. 380 minus 210 is 170. It says 180 pounds. And so I don't know if he's not that intelligent. Perhaps he lost all his brain cells overhead pressing too much. I don't know. Perhaps he's got an aneurysm. But clearly, 170 pounds is what he's gained. Now remember, it would be impressive if he had gained all that in muscle, but for the most part, it was mostly fat. And so, was it actually worth it? Well, I don't think so. Does anyone believe for 1 second that this is not going to dramatically shorten his life? He says he's drug-free, and so let's go with that. Let's assume he did this 100% natural. Does anyone think that gaining 180 pounds, getting your body weight to 380, is not going to dramatically shorten your life? Perhaps it's better than being on steroids and going up to 380 pounds, but to go up to 380 to increase your body fat this significantly, it can't be good for you. There's no way this guy does not have high blood pressure. If he were to get blood work done, do you really think it's going to come back as being normal? And so at 29 years of age, and we don't know this guy's height, but imagine his BMI is through the roof. No way this guy is not morbidly obese. His body fat is so high, it's endangering his health. And to think, he has amazing genetics, not only to be lean, but to be muscular. And so rather than going for what most people would dream of, to have that amazing chiseled six-pack, to have lots of muscle, to look good, he chose to bulk up harder than last time, putting on 180 pounds, most of it being fat, also that he could shoulder press the world record. But is it worth it? To chase that dopamine, is it in fact worth it? And I can tell you this, while he's doing it, while he's chasing that dream, while he's chasing that goal, it is going to feel worth it. Many of you have been tempted to use performance-enhancing drugs. You're in search of that dream physique. And while you're doing it, it most likely is going to feel worth it. You're likely not going to experience all of the negative side effects. Sure, you might get horrible acne, gynecomastia, insomnia, the list goes on, but most likely you're not going to feel all of its ramifications as soon as you do it. What happens is over time, those things are going to rear their ugly heads. The high blood pressure, increased bad cholesterol, all the liver damage, the kidney stress, all of that will rear its ugly head, creep up on you, perhaps when you're in your 40s, maybe in your 50s. And so at the time it's worth it, but once you've achieved that goal and you move on to something else, you may in fact reflect and look back and say, why did I do it? Why did I endanger my health? Also, I could do this with 100 pounds more than if I were at a lighter body weight. And so what I can tell you is no matter what you're doing right now, it's not going to be the thing that you need to do for the rest of your life. You might think you need to be a powerlifting champ. You need to be a bodybuilder. Yeah, you feel that way right now at age 20, But what happens when you're 40, 50, 60? I can tell you I wanted to be a world champion powerlifter, of which I was. I wanted to be a professional bodybuilder, of which I also accomplished. Wanted to set a Guinness World Record in the deadlift. I also did that. And so at the time, of course, it's worth it. You're having fun, enjoying it, and so it's worth it. But as you get older and you reflect on what you did, you're thinking, what damage did I possibly do? And I can tell you this, at least I was not 380 pounds. At least I was not 100 plus pounds overweight. And so although I did take risks and although I did abuse performance enhancing drugs, perhaps if I'm lucky, it won't have done severe damage to myself, and I will only know this when I get older. But for this guy, 380 pounds, there's no way he can be healthy. I'm telling you, it's not possible. Healthy at any size is a wish. You're living in imagination land. You cannot be this big and also be healthy at the same time. And so as he goes through his poses, front double bicep, lat spread, breathing in and out. And so I go into the comment section to see what are people thinking about this. After all, the guy, he gained 180 pounds, mostly all fat. Hello, mate. Do you feel any downside in being that big? His response, I haven't felt my legs since 2005. I don't think that's relevant. I mean, it's been 18 years. That would put him at the age of 11. He was certainly not obese. He was in very good shape as a teenager in his early 20s. And so that is not very relevant. And so I wish he would have answered this. How do you actually feel when you're 380 pounds? And I can tell you this, when I was at my fattest, 232 pounds, remember, I'm only 5'6" manlet, I could hardly get up off the couch. I was fat, rolling around. I never felt healthy in the slightest. I went and started bike riding again. I said, I got to get in shape. Enough of this bodybuilding stuff. I need to get healthy. And so I went for a 15-minute bike ride. Didn't even try that hard. Legs were sore. I was tired, gasping for air. And so I can tell you without question that if you gain this kind of weight, you're not going to be healthy. You might think you're okay, but you will not realize just how unhealthy you were until you get fit yet again. And in comparison to that 15-minute slow ride that had me exhausted, I can ride for hours at a faster pace and have plenty of energy. And so one of the most important things you could do is to do cardio, 150 minutes of cardio a week. Does this guy look like he does cardio? Do you think he's out riding bikes, jogging, swimming, going for hikes and dancing and so on? I don't think so. He does this. And so is it really worth it to get up to 380 pounds to set an all-time world record for the strict overhead press? Seems very specific. I could see if he was trying to be the world's strongest man, perhaps competing against Mitchell Hooper, to be good at everything. Mitchell Hooper, clearly much leaner than this guy and closer to 310 pounds. And so does that extra weight actually help him? Could he actually stand a chance against Mitchell Hooper? I don't think so. You need to be quick. You need to be agile. You need to be fit. You cannot be the world's strongest man and simply have a bunch of bulk. You cannot bulk harder than last time and assume you're going to be the world's strongest man. It doesn't work like that. Perhaps he's bulked up 100 pounds even greater than Eddie Hall. But look at the guy's physique. This guy's starting physique 5 years ago, before he went on that crazy bulk, would literally be Eddie Hall's dream physique if he could ever stick to his diet. And perhaps this supports that notion that people are never happy with what they have. The grass is always greener on the other side. Girl has straight hair, wish it was curly. Guy curly hair, why can't it be straight? Girl short, wish I could be taller. Girl's tall, I want to be shorter. And so many people, they just are not happy what they have. Oh, I'm shredded, I'm muscular, I look amazing. I'm sick of it. I'm going to go on a bulk. Meanwhile, guys on bulks are thinking, when is it time to go on a mini cut? I want abs, I want that six-pack. And so why can't people just be happy? Be happy with what you have right now and slowly over time get better. But what happens is people want that hit of dopamine, the quick fix. They can't wait, they are not patient. And so you're trying to improve your strict press. Perhaps you only can add 5 pounds every 6 months. I'm sick of that. I'm going to gain 100 pounds of fat this year and I'll go up very quickly. But you do that, then you want more. You gain 100 pounds of fat, it's not enough. Now I need to gain 50 more. And so it never ends. And so he's got 4 plates on each side. He doesn't know what to do with the weight. He lifts it off and he slams it down back and forth. I'm not sure what exercise he's doing, but perhaps he's been watching Grizzly one too many times. He does a bent row with the weight, slams it down, bounces it. He thinks he's playing basketball with 405. It makes no sense. And so was it really worth it? Well, only he can answer. But I can tell you, if you value your health and you value your life, this ain't it. You can get the dopamine, you can chase your dreams without endangering your life. And so in the last 3 years, he further goes on to show that he's put on 100 pounds. And so in the comparison, in the before photo, you can already see he is in fact overweight and or obese. At this point, I think the bulk should end. But no, rather than that, he continues to bulk for 3 additional years, putting on a total of 100 pounds extra body fat. Was that worth it? I don't think so. I don't know how much he improved his shoulder press from doing this, but I certainly don't think you need a calorie surplus when you're 40 to 50% body fat. It's just not beneficial. And in fact, being this fat, this overweight can in fact impede your growth potential. When you're too big, you can't recover, you're getting tired, harder to eat, harder to sleep, everything in life becomes more difficult. And so in the end, it's his life, it's his choice, but I do caution you, please do not bulk up straight for 5 years. It's not healthy, not good. And seeing as he claims to be 100% natural, assuming that he is, the most beneficial supplements I can think of for him would, of course, be GO2 Max. Think of it. Improved cardio, recovery, energy. How could he not supplement with GO2 Max? And of course, Ecti Builder with various Ecti steroids. This would be highly beneficial if he's in fact trying to build muscle while being in a natural environment. Interested in GO2 Max, Ecti Builder, please click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Do you actually think this guy is natural? Like, let me know in the comment section. Do you think he's natural? And of course, the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet book, the Harder Than Last Time clothing line, hoodies, jogging pants, all that. You can get it all on my website, code Greg 10% off. And for that free diet and training program, you just enter your first and last name and email address. It's coming straight to you, absolutely free. And until next time, I am out.